Many viewers would naturally be interested in what Gi-hun does with his money in Season 2, given that he was the only recipient of the huge cash prize in Squid Game Season 1. Thankfully, Squid Game Season 2 makes it clear in its first few scenes just how he is spending his money, and it makes perfect sense. Jung-jae's Gi-hun won the 45.6 billion won grand prize in Squid Game Season 1 after surviving the main games with a combination of cunning and luck on his side. However, what at first appeared to be a blessing ultimately became a curse, and Gi-hun appeared to have no idea what he would do with the prize after winning it. Gi-hun found it difficult to accept his newfound wealth because of all the things he had to go through and accomplish in order to win the $45.6 billion cash prize. However, when Gi-hun eventually discovers his new purpose in Squid Game Season 2, he finds the motivation to put his money into his overall strategy in order to accomplish his one and only objective. Gi-hun rents out several rooms in a budget motel and uses one of them to store his cash prize, as the first scenes of Squid Game Season 2 disclose. To make sure he can closely monitor who enters and exits the motel, he uses some of his money to install CCTV cameras at the entrances. In addition, he hires his loan sharks to assist in locating the individuals behind the game and pays off all of his prior debts. He chooses to use his wealth as leverage and embark on a quest to exact revenge on those who exploit the underprivileged by making them participate in the games. Gi-hun knows that only the salesman can assist him in getting to the elusive people who control the games because he gained access to them through the salesman in Squid Game Season 1. In order to assist him in finding the salesman, he thus employs Mr. Kim and gives him a sizable payment. To make sure they eventually find the target, Mr. Kim also assembles a sizable team using the funds Gi-hun contributes to the search. At first, Mr. Kim and his men are unsuccessful in locating the man Gi-hun is seeking, despite their best efforts. In an attempt to locate Gong-yu's enigmatic Squid Game character, they wander the subway for 2 years. But they continue to come up empty-handed, which makes them wonder if the salesman is real. Mr. Kim, like the men he enlists, finds it difficult to accept Gi-hun's version of events on the island. But Gi-hun's pledge to reward him with 1 billion won if he locates the salesman motivates him and his group to press on. Mr. Kim and his right-hand man eventually locate the man with the dokji in Episode 1 of Squid Game Season 2, which is almost halfway through. After winning the games in the final arc of Squid Game Season 1, Gi-hun received a total of 45.6 billion won. In addition to spending the money on hiring men to find the salesman, he also purchased several military-grade weapons to make sure they had enough supplies and ammunition to combat those involved in the games, as the first few episodes of Season 2 disclose. Nevertheless, at the beginning of Squid Game Season 2, he appears to have a lot of it left. The full stack Gi-hun won at the games is displayed in a scene from Episode 2 of the season. The fact that only a small number of bundles from one end of the stack appear to have been used suggests that Gi-hun is still far from using up his enormous fortune in Squid Game Season 2, even though he has spent a lot of money on hiring men and purchasing weapons on the black market. Given that he won 45.6 billion won, or nearly $31.4 million, this shouldn't come as a surprise. In the first moments of Squid Game Season 2, Gi-hun would still have nearly 93% of his total earnings even if he spent up to $2 million.